if you had to say like these are the three must-watch samurai films, what would they be?
Right. Okay. So first of all, I would go Throne of Blood. Okay. So we're going to go for two Akira Kurosawa films and one Beat Takeshi film, I think. So Akira Kurosawa, Throne of Blood. It's actually so Ran is based on King Lear, isn't it? It's a Shakespeare
Yes.
play, Ran.
Mhm.
And Throne of Blood is Macbeth. So the one thing they never ever do in samurai films is make them gothic. Samurai are pretty gothic. They are
Mhm.
usually night attacks with burning torches. A samurai film should be a horror film without a
Okay.
shadow of a doubt. It is like the Sith going to battle. They are going to come and get your head. They are wearing demonic masks. They're usually doing night attacks. They're crossing rivers, and they've got amazing weapons. And Throne of Blood mixes the gothicness of Macbeth with historical accuracy, and now you get a really, really good, dark, sinister film. One Akira Kurosawa is that. Then is Go Hato. So I would say Go Hato. This, I don't know about your, like, some people's feelings now. This is 1999, but it's based on
Okay.
homosexuality in
Sure.
Japan. But
Yep.
it is like, which is now obviously the biggest trending thing in the world. But this is
Mhm.
way before the sort of like the culture war trend of this. It's way
Yes.
before. And I don't know why the LGBT community have not took this film up as like the film. But if you don't mind that bit, guys, and which is historically accurate, by the way, it's very historically accurate. It is an awesome film about a young 16-year-old lad who's an amazing sword fighter, and he gets hired by what are called the Shinsen Gumi, and they are like really the secret military police of, like, you know, they are hardcore guys, and he does it just so he can kill. And he goes around and it's about who kills who, and it's a murder mystery with sort of like a gay romance, which is random, I know, for guys, but basically
Mhm.
it's done because that was what was going on, and he manipulates everybody's emotions, and you have to work out who kills who. So very, very well done film. Very, very well done film. And then I'm going to recommend one which is out on the edge, which is actually called Last Nights. And I think I've only
Yes,
seen it
I've seen it.
once.
I've seen it.
Yeah. And it is it Morgan Freeman and Clive someone?
Clive Owens, I think his name is.
Oh,
Might be
that's it.
wrong.
Yeah, I think Clive. Yeah, someone like that. Morgan Freeman. I think. But basically, it's the story of the 47 Ronin. And if you don't know what 47 Ronin is, like, we haven't actually touched on Keanu Reeves' 47 Ronin, which was historically an insanely bad film, but way cooler than Last Samurai. It is the worst historical film you've ever seen. It's basically China in Japan with
Yes.
magic, which like historically doesn't work. But it was cool. There was like some cool effects and all that. But the film of the 47 Ronin, which is basically 47 samurai go and take revenge for their lord, is placed in Last Nights. I would recommend just for fun watching it because it got panned. It did nothing. Nobody ever knows about it, but it's worth sitting there and having a good watch.
Yeah, I've seen Last Nights. I enjoyed it. Did this one have fantasy elements in it as well, or was it just the Keanu Reeves
Yeah, I
version?
think well, it's basically they set it in Western Europe, so they set it as like in sort of medieval, slightly fantastical
Hmm.
Western Europe, but a Japanese story. Which actually, I do want to tell you about one of the film guys. Now, I wouldn't recommend you watch this film unless you are like a hardcore film buff. I took my
Okay.
friends to see this film when it came out, and they were demanding their money back at the end from me. They said, Anthony, you have to pay us all our ticket. We hated it. And I was like, okay, okay. But it's an Indian film called The Warrior. Now, you've got to be careful, it's the right one. It's a guy who's an Indian guy, and it's based on a Japanese story, but they couldn't afford to do it in Japan, so they filmed it in India. And it's based in probably 1800s India, and it's about a guy who has to sacrifice his own son, and he goes on this warrior holy journey, and he comes out the other end throwing away his tools of war and becoming a spiritual leader. And I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was superb. I thought it was superb. But it's an Indian film, but it's not Bollywood.
Yes.
It's very slow, dry,
Okay.
building.
I really enjoy a little bit of a slower paced movie sometimes. So you've given me three excellent films that I haven't seen, and I'm gonna add them to my watch list right away.